This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
You are listening to Death, Glory, or Disappointment. Welcome back to another content film. Here's what bugs me. I interviewed you on the last show, and you said that this was your serious show, and the other one was your entertaining one. And so, you're not entertaining, Dan?
No. What I'm saying, Jonathan Riviera, you sexy bearded fool, is that yes, everything is infotaining, but my focus on this one is more business and entrepreneurship. The other one is generally around penis jokes and talking about what goes on in my head. So it's a little more stupid.
Which head?
And on that, carry on, Jonathan. Dick. All right, 1-1 now, mate, prick. You got me.
So wait a second. Now, what? I lost track already. I'm thinking of penis jokes for some reason.
Well, mate, whatever tickles your pickle, my friend.
There we go. So what do you have in store for us today, Dan?
So it's pretty simple. Giving shit a go. Just giving shit a go. I mean, we kind of wrapped up on the last episode, saying to people if they didn't have a podcast, how simple it is relatively to get up. This ties in with, so this would have been a month or so ago now from whenever this goes out. We did something called the Insta Slut Challenge, which was my very balls deep foray into the world of a social media platform that I had never even bothered with before. And there's probably some of you like, Instagram's been around forever. Yeah, I know, but I've been focusing on Facebook. So one of the things, since we can touch on each one of these points. So since we have spoken, I have gone from a work point of view, gone all in on the Instagram. So obviously figuring out how to do that, and it's been very successful. I am currently 4 weeks into a 12-week challenge. We mentioned the last show, my friend Jamie Alderton, I do Body and the Beast with, and he is a international champion standing around in my pants person. I am not. But I will be stood in my pants, so pants in the UK is underwear, Jonathan, next to Jamie on Brighton Beach in 8 weeks' time, because I set myself a challenge to get into as good a shape as I possibly could.
Wow, 12 weeks.
Yeah, I'm on my, again, I think about third or fourth week now of stand-up comedy training. So I will be doing my graduation set towards the end of summer here in the UK, which I will be streaming live. So it'll be live from.
About to ask.
Yeah, so that will be streamed live. And I'm going to say, learning something else, which is going to stay with me for right now, because I really want this to be a surprise. But all of these things I'm doing, I've never shut up you. All of these, all of these things I'm doing because I've wanted to do them, but I don't really know what I'm doing. So I just thought, fuck it. Set myself a deadline, set myself a goal, made it social, so the power of social proof, and I'm just giving it a go. Do I know it? Did I know when I started many things? Obviously, some of them we haven't finished yet, but I don't know if things are going to work or not when I start them. But I give things a go, whether or not I look like a dick or not. And I think there's a huge problem with a lot of people. They're so worried about looking stupid, doing it wrong. They're worried about other people think. Learn to fucking speak, Daniel. Is that they simply just don't give things a go. And one of
wait. I need to dive into this particular section with you.
Okay.
Carry on, big sir. So I like the idea of giving shit a go, but I know that you just said it in this episode that you were mastering Facebook before you moved into Instagram. Mm-hmm. So how do you know when it's time to master something and when it's time to drop something?
So realistically, mastery is important, but you got to understand if you're going to master something, you have to start at the bottom. You have to start at that point where you're absolutely fucking shit, and that's how you grow. And that's it. All of us, absolutely all of us, start off as a novice, whatever we're doing. And people expect to, you see, so like podcasting. Do you rate John Lee Dumas? I mean, he's been around for a long time with his Entrepreneur on Fire, hasn't he?
Yeah. Years.
So he is a good example of someone who probably started off a little bit crap. So he started off at the bottom, probably not knowing 100% what he was doing, nowhere near as successful, nowhere near as well known as he is now, but consistently got better and better over time. And now he's classed, probably fair to say, pretty expert in that field, right?
Yeah.
But no one is prepared. Everyone wants the end result. So people will see you, obviously, as producer Jonathan, you've got this huge stable of entrepreneurs and business owners on your podcast. How did you start, mate? Where did you start? 'Cause you've been doing this a long time, haven't you? I don't mean that in an insulting way.
Yeah, I started with a microphone and a shitty podcast called Real Tech Guy Radio.
Wow, really?
It was 2009, and I did 70 episodes. And the last episode, when I shut it down, was when I had met Ben, and I was doing daily emails, and I was running away from social media.
You see, that's the thing. Everyone wants to be at the end result. They don't want to be doing that kind of boring, unexciting stuff where realistically you're not getting the attention, the listeners, the eyeballs, but that's the bit that you have to do to start off with.
Yeah. But I'm going to push you a little bit further here. Giving shit a go. I'm with you, right? I like that. And I think there's a problem in our space, probably everywhere, where people are giving too many things a go. So how do you know what to keep and what you should just let go?
That's actually a great question. So I've talked about it before. The kind of 60-30-10 principle that I use. It's in my book. I apply it to everything, buddy. So you start off with one thing. You get really, really fucking good at one thing, but you start off by being shit at it. That's how you start. Whether it's copywriting, whether it's sales, whether it's tech stuff, podcasting, fucking, whatever it is. Let's face it. Think back to, right, what would you describe? But think back to any of you listening to your first sexual experiences compared to where you are now. Let's face it, you probably improved just a smidge. But without being too disgraceful of getting this too filthy, but you get better at stuff over time. We all start off doing shit. So you might want to do something, and first time you do it, you might be utterly crap. There's going to be people there who are better than you, people there who have more talent than you, people who have been doing it longer than you. So how on earth are you supposed to compete with them? You're not. But what happens is that most people give up when it starts to get hard. So they get embarrassed. They don't want to do it. There are people there who are better than them, and they think, fuck it, it's never going to happen. As opposed to staying the course and getting shit done day in, day fucking out. I mean, look at my new journey into stand-up, yeah? So do I have a fucking clue what I'm doing? What do you reckon, Jonathan?
You're a funny fellow, but I don't know if it's comedy.
Yeah, funny fellow, but are people going to maybe pay and be happy to pay 10, 20, 30 pounds to see me just stand up on a stage and talk? Probably right now, no. But I have every intention to do this properly, as in, do stand-up nights and tour and go to places and get my fucking ass handed to a plate. Why? Because I want to do it. I want to see how good I am. If you look at, musicians, comedians, artists, businessmen and women, sorry, not meant to be sexist, entrepreneurs, no one really comes out of the gate brilliant, do they? I mean, think about bands like, the Rolling Stones and the Beatles. Obviously, they're talented when they're younger, skillful lads, but they were playing absolute shitholes to virtually no one at the start because they were at the bottom. They had to get, better and learn their craft and earn their followers and all that kind of stuff. And people aren't prepared to do it because, you have one bad night, one thing goes wrong, one person doesn't like your product. Like I spoke to a lady yesterday, written 2 fiction books, and she sent the manuscripts out to 20 book agents. Didn't get a reply, gave up. Now, those novels could be absolutely wonderful. But think of, who's that? Is it Hemingway? Who sent off like hundreds and hundreds of manuscripts, never got anywhere. It's some famous author. My brain's just decided to skip a beat. But
it might have been
Bukowski?
Harry Potter, wasn't it? Maybe Stephen King. I don't fucking.
Basically, a fucking famous author who's really fucking famous now had sent a great, really good factual storytelling that down.
Yeah, that's right.
If J.K. Rowling, there we go, would have given up at the first dance, if Hemingway had given up at the first rejection, we wouldn't have their work now. And let's face it, the first draft of anything we ever do is shit. If I think about, I'm doing some fiction writing, and I've got a writing coach, and we probably removed 70% of my first.
Wow.
Yeah. And I told him to be hot. Do you know what? I'm used to it now. You're talking to an ex-fat kid who was short, had braces and afro hair, and I'm white. And was not good at sports. Like, seriously, if I can survive my teenage years like that and come out unscathed, like, this shit just doesn't bother me in the slightest. So fuck it. But what I'm trying to say is that you do just have to give things a go. If you turn up at like an acting class or a painting class, or, put it into business fits, you're launching yourself as a copywriter or a Facebook advertiser, or you're going on Amazon to sell your product, it's not going to be great out the gate. Never is. We all have to start at the bottom. But most people either get, the ones that have, I've got to say, fair play to you for even trying. You try, get knocked back and fail. But so many people think it's not going to work. They don't even try. It's like, great case in point. Like, I love the sort of dating analogies and stuff. It's like seeing the hot girl or the hot guy and thinking, do you know what? They won't be interested in me before they even try. You don't know until they try. Let's face it, I've got a niche look. At best, it's niche. I've had some absolutely, not that it's all about looks, but absolutely gorgeous girlfriends, because I had the fucking spuds to at least go up and say hello to them. Some of my best and biggest clients, Ryan Levesque, great case in point, yeah? He was the guy who basically gave me my break in the online world. Great dude, very smart. You'd never think someone like me and him would become friends. We're totally different, but we're still really good friends today. And everyone wanted to work with him. This was when Ryan's star was really starting to rise, wasn't it? That's obviously we met at Ryan's mastermind. Yeah. And it got to the point where, I'd seen this stuff. I really wanted to work with him. I really kind of liked what he was about. And I sent him direct mail, emails. I got a video edited and produced, like, seriously. I left him voicemails on his work. I literally, it sounds really stalkerish, but it was done in a very kind of, tempered way, just kind of being politely persistent. But no one else gave it a go. And I won't mention the gentleman's name, but, me and someone else were offered a similar opportunity. That other person balked. I just dived in with both hands, didn't have the money, had no idea when I was going to get it, drank a bottle of whiskey, fuck it, got my credit card details in, signed up, bosh. And that is how I'm here today. Because I gave it a go. Had no idea if it's going to succeed, no idea what the outcome was be, but I thought, fuck it, let's try.
Respect, man.
Sorry, I was going off on my little rant there. Sorry about
that. So wait. I got to bring you back. So yes. I told you I like the idea of giving shit a go, but where's the part where you say, yeah, this is worth sticking to, or this is not? Because we all suck at everything in the beginning. That's a given. But cool. Whether we or not, how do we know that this is the space to invest?
I'm a little different than most. So, for example, for me personally, I give everything 90 days. I honestly think if you give your all to something for 3 months, as in your all, not half-assed, like full ass, for 90 days, you will know if it's going to be a success or not.
Both cheeks,
both cheeks, mate. Both cheeks and both balls. Just shove it all in there. All of it. All goes in. But for other people, I'd say maybe 6 months. Depending on what you're doing. But as a rule, if something is not making me money, if it's stressing me out, if it's taking up too much of my time, as in sort of like the risk to reward ratio of what it is, in 90 days, if it's not getting traction, if it's not going anywhere, I tank it. And I'm not emotionally vested to the outcome. Now, you cannot master something in 90 days. Of course you can't. But you can have a pretty fucking good idea. And if you were to really go all in into that thing that you want to do for 3 months solid, you will know whether it's going to work or not. 100 fucking %.
You give it a time frame to work in.
Give it a deadline, mate. And if you say if you say to people, you know, I'm going to launch this new business when next year, okay, by when? And I thrive under pressure. And to be honest with you, because this is how I am, probably for the first 6 weeks, I won't even do fuck all. I'll potter along. I'll do some maintenance, until the pressure's really on, like the thumb screws are being turned. That's when Dan's time to shine. That is not for everyone. I've always enjoyed and worked well under pressure. I like it. Slow and steady approach doesn't really work for me, but 90 days for me it's short enough to hold my attention, long enough to get shit done. That works for me personally, but that is not for everyone, obviously.
And how do you know what you're going to give a go next? Where does your attention go? Is it just whatever strikes you, or how do you figure that out?
As in what I'm going to pick next. So it's a hard one, mate. I'm pretty good at spotting trends. I seem to have a knack of just seeing what's going to happen next and what I like. So, it's a really tough one to do. I'm very fortunate with my group. I get to see what people are doing, what's working, what people enjoy. And plus, mate, I'm a whimsical little fucker. Like, it was my birthday a little while ago in June. And, it's the first birthday I've been on my own. So I thought, right, I've got option one, sit at home, feeling miserable for myself. And I've kind of knocked the drink completely on the head now because of my training. So I thought, right, well, I can't sit at home and get absolutely shit-faced on goose. Anything anyone else does, there's going to be drink involved. What do I want to do? So whimsical as fuck, Dan. So Alton Towers, which is like Six Flags in America, just because I felt it was funny, booked myself a limo to take me there. I've got VIP passes for the 2 days, and I stayed in the Princess Suite, had manicures and pedicures and facials, and I'm a fucking straight man. And I did it, mate, just because it made me laugh.
That's awesome.
But that's it, mate. I'm a creature of whimsy. But if I see something that I think can make money, I think there's an opportunity, I think there's a chance for growth or maybe increasing my audience, it's the ready, fire, aim philosophy. Like, I'll do a little bit of research, see if there's money in the market, see who my competitors are, see who else is serving them. Can I serve them better or in a different way? If the answer is yes, fuck it, I'm all in.
Yeah, I like that. And one last thing I'd like to know, when you're giving shit a go, are you doing 2 or 3 things, or are you just giving one thing a go for those 90 days?
So start off with one. Okay, so this is my 60-30-10 thing I mentioned earlier, which I didn't really flesh out. Once you've done, so for example, this is how I did it in my business. So first of all, put all my money in, bought a gym. So it was 100% gym. Then it was people wanted to learn how basically how I did what I did. So then it was 70% gym, 30% coaching. So I was doing coaching other people how to run their fitness businesses. Then I got into copywriting. So it was 60-30-10. So 60% gym, 30% of my time coaching, 10% of my time copywriting when I was learning my craft. Then I flipped those because our copywriting started to pick off. So it was 60% gym, 30% copywriting, 10% coaching. Then it became, so copywriting started really picking off, 60% copy, actually dropped to, then changed to 30% coaching, 10% gym, where I was more managing. And then it went to agency. So as you see, as I go along, the priorities change. But I learned this from the book Scrum. It says don't work anything more than 40 hours a week. Blocked off work is unproductive. So I combined what I learned from Scrum, what I learned from the 12-week year, really got into time blocking and was just really aggressive with it. So, for example, right now, I'd say my 60 is, let's just say, the kind of plan it down world. So coffee with Dan, double espresso with Dan, espresso with Dan, that sort of stuff. Yeah. So that's where the bulk of my, I'd say probably about 50% of my revenue comes from. Okay. 30% of my time is in which is the supplement space. I'm going very aggressively into supplements, something I wanted to do for years. So that's where 30% of my time is. And 10% of my time is going to go into my new fiction series of books, because I basically they could potentially take off. I mean, if a book goes crazy, you can make millions from it. So it's basically steady, medium risk, high risk. But the high risk ones, writing fiction books, what's my chance of becoming a famous author? Not very high, but if I did, it's a great payoff. Whereas, espresso, double espresso, coffee with Dan, consulting, all that big pot there, that is my steady income, So that's where I put the bulk of my time to keep the ship steady. So basically, it works really well for entrepreneurs because it's like literally it's like investing in the stock market: low, medium, and high risk. If the high risk one pays off, it can outdo the other two. Make sense? Absolutely. It indulges that entrepreneurial shiny object. I need to do all of the things, but 5 hours a week, I write fiction.
Got it. So this stuff,
I include my stand-up comedy in that as well. So that's kind of, because I do want to do that. I would love to be a stand-up comedian, but I've got to make sure I'm a funny fucker first. So it's my creative arts. That's what I meant to say.
That's it. So the 70-30-10 and that kind of productivity stuff, is that in your book, How to Be Fucking Awesome?
Indeed it is, sir.
Perfect. So then you guys can go to Amazon and pick that up. And do you know what's coming up next time?
No.
Oh, see?
Back to usual. We had 1 week ahead. We had one session ahead, but no, next one, I don't know.
All right. Good enough. So thank you, Dan. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll be back in your earbuds next time.
Later, staters.
You've been listening to Death, Glory, or Disappointment with Dan Meredith. If you enjoyed the show and you want more, then your next step is to go to iTunes right now and subscribe. And while you're there, give us a rating and review. It'll help us out a bunch, plus it'll bring you good karma.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.